This is Andi Purewal for ID Boxing. I'm joined by Swedish heavyweight Otto Wallin over Zoom. Otto, always a pleasure to catch up with you. How is life stateside?
It's good, thanks. I'm just got back from the gym, had a nice lunch, and now we're ready to do this interview.
I'm glad to hear it. I appreciate you stopping by to do this as well. You was on our shores recently. You sparring Chisora just as a starting point. Can you reflect on that for me, please?
Yeah, I came over there a couple of weeks back and sparred with Chisora for a week, and then I was there for a few more days, and then I was on a flight back over here. But it was good. It was nice to come out to London, staying in Finchley, close to the gym where he's working out at, and I had a pretty good time out there.
What can you tell me about your rounds with him? What can you reflect on specifically?
You mean in sparring?
Yeah.
Well, I think it was good work for both of us. Usually, we don't like to talk about too much what's going on in the gym, of course, but I think that Derek he has a good game plan, and he has a good idea of Fury. They already fought twice, so I think he has a good idea of what he needs to do, and that's what they're working on.
A lot of people have almost written off Derek's chances going into the fight with Tyson next week, Otto. So, from what you experienced in sparring with him, do you give him a good chance that he could upset the odds?
Well, I would say Derek is a good fighter for sure, and he always brings it. He's a tough guy, but it's a big task for anyone to beat Fury, and you really need to take it to him. And Derek, he is an aggressive fighter, and he's really gonna need that in this fight. He needs to stay on top of Fury, not not let him get comfortable. But of course, it's a tough fight. But stranger things that has happened in the past. So I'm hoping for Derek.
What do you actually expect to happen when they share the ring next week, then, Otto?
Well, I think it's. Just judging based on the two fights they had prior to this one, Fury is a clear favorite. But you can't write Chisora off. He's a good fighter, tough fighter. He always brings it. So it'll be interesting.
Otto, were you surprised to be asked to come into camp? Obviously, we know Tyson's a very unorthodox fighter. You know yourself how unorthodox he can be from sharing a ring with him. So you coming over, was it a surprise at all that you was asked to?
No, I think that Fury fought mainly southpaw in the second fight when they fought, and I'm a good southpaw. I'm one of the best southpaws out there. So I think that would be great for Derek to have me come in, and whether it's for Fury, whether it's for Usyk, I would be a good sparring partner to help people get ready.
So it seemed like you was enjoying some more Lebanese food without me as well.
Yeah. It was a lot of Middle Eastern food there. I had Iranian food, I had Greek food, Mediterranean. And it was really good. I liked it over there. It's good food. I like that kind of food. I have the dog here, so if you see her leg sticking up, it's the dog.
That's all good, Otto. Hopefully we'll be able to catch up and get some food again when you're back over. But yeah, let's move forwards and onto yourself. What's the latest? Obviously, I spoke to Dmitry Salita earlier, but before we come on to his comments, where do you understand your career is currently heading?
Yeah, well, from what it's looking like now, I'll take a fight in December maybe here in the US, just to stay active, another stay busy fight, I guess, while Dmitry and my team is working on getting me something bigger. And I know, there's been some talks about Joshua. That's a fight I really want. And I think it would be a good fight. And I think people in the UK will respect Joshua for taking that fight, since I gave Fury one hell of a fight, and I have a pretty good name over in the UK since I fought Fury, so it'll be an easy sell, I think. And Joshua's a big draw, of course, so I think that fights make a lot of sense. But I see her speaking about the winner of Whyte and Franklin, so honestly the ball is really in their court. I can just keep going in my career, and I'm just hoping that I'm gonna get one of these guys soon.
Otto, speaking with Dmitry earlier, he he said to me that a deal was close on your behalf to face Anthony Joshua, not necessarily signed or anything, but it seemed to be close. And those same talks will have to take place, not necessarily have to, but look like they will take place with the winner of Whyte-Franklin on Saturday night. And then AJ will choose between either yourself or, as we say, the winner from this coming weekend. Are you confident if AJ has the choice of either you or Whyte or Franklin, it will be you that comes out on top and gets that fight with Anthony Joshua?
No, I'm not. I think that I would be the toughest fight for him. So I think that it's really whatever he wants. If he, he already beat Whyte, knocked him out. Fury just knocked him out. And I gave Fury one hell of a fight. I fought Joshua twice in the amateurs. I lost close decisions. I fought him in 2016. So he knows that I'm a good fighter. And, I will be the toughest fight out of the bunch for him. I'm just, it doesn't, that is not in my favor, of course, but, it is what it is. I'm ready for it. So whatever happens, happens.
One thing that you do have in your favor, Otto, is because of how tough a fight you gave Tyson Fury. Obviously, Eddie Hearn loves to promote a fight, and one of the selling points could be if AJ, from his perspective, he'll say if AJ is able to beat you in more convincing fashion, it's a better victory than what Tyson had against you. Now, I'm not saying that's the case, but it is a selling point you can try to use to promote the fight.
Yeah, right. I think that's a good point. And like I said earlier, I'm well known in the UK since I fought Fury. And I think it would be an easy sell, and I think it would be a really good fight.
How close, if at all, are you to those talks, Otto, with kind of the promoters, with Eddie, with Matchroom, and with Dmitry, your promoter himself?
Well, I'm not in touch with any other promoter than Dmitry. So he tells me about what's being said, what's going on, and I take it for what it is. It's just with boxing. I've been in this game for so long now. You keep hearing different stuff. Maybe you fight this guy, maybe you fight that guy, and after a while, you just don't get too excited until the contracts are signed and you're actually in the ring. Just an example, when I was gonna fight Whyte and he pulled out, a few days before. So yeah, I think you learn along the way that don't get too excited until, first and foremost, the contracts are signed, and then you're in the ring.
Otto, just listening to you talk now, it's arguably the first time where, looking at you and listening to you, you seem a little deflated just because you haven't been able to get a big fight on the back of how you perform with Tyson. Is that starting to come out in yourself now, do you feel?
A little bit. I think I deserve more than what I'm getting. I think I deserve those big fights, and I try to take it out in the gym though. I'm always in the gym. Just came back now, had a really good workout, and going back tonight. So I'm staying in the gym, just trying to get better. I know that it's gonna take a lot of work to get to the top, but I'm trying, and I think that things are gonna come eventually. I had to bite down now and just keep grinding, keep working.
If Jermaine's successful on Saturday night, obviously he leaves Dmitry in kind of a predicament. If Eddie does, or Anthony rather, chooses either yourself or Jermaine Franklin, you're both promoted by Dmitry Salita. So on that note, he's kind of conflicted as to who does he want to see get the fight. What's your relationship like with Dmitry personally? I imagine it's again been a frustrating period over the last couple of years.
Yeah, no, I mean, we have a good relationship, and I know that Dmitry, he's trying everything he can to get me those big fights, and that's all I can ask for, really. I'm sure it's not easy always. So yeah, we have a good relationship.
How would you kind of assess the last few years of your career, Otto? I don't imagine you've been as active as what you'd like if you had fights fall through from no fault of your own. But just looking at your record earlier, it was 2 fights in 2018, 2 in 19, 1 in 2020 and 2021, 2 so far this year. You're hoping for a third. Would you say there's been a sense of frustration over a lack of activity there?
Yeah, it has, of course. Coming after the Fury fight, we had a good deal with Showtime. I had a couple of fights with them, Kaufman in Brazil. And then I was going to fight Dillian about a year ago. And he pulled out 10 days before the fight and went on to be knocked out by Fury. And, it is what it is. I haven't heard anything from him. I'd love to fight him. He pulled out the fight. blocked me on Instagram for some reason. We never we never spoke on Instagram or anything. You know, I don't think I watched that face-off that he had with Franklin yesterday, and he was saying, you know, I'm very easy to find and this and that, but I wouldn't agree with that. I don't see him around anything, and you know, he's hard to get hold of for me at least, and I think that says something because after he pulled out our fight and after he got knocked out with Fury, we should have got it on. I mean, I should have been fighting him now if you know, if things were right, but you know, it is what it is. I don't think he wants to fight me.
I mean, again, it's just to pick up on Jermaine being a Salita fighter himself. Were you ever in the discussion to step in with Dillian for this coming weekend? Did Dmitry put your name forwards to potentially have this fight?
Not that I know of. When I got the Dillian Whyte fight the first time, I know there had been a lot of discussions with Franklin fighting him. I don't know what happened that time, but I ended up getting it. And yeah, I don't know about this time, but I had it in my mind actually that, you know, it's good that I'm in shape right now because you never know with Franklin. Maybe he pulls out or whatever, like last time. I don't know what happened last time, but yeah, I would have liked to get the fight with Whyte, of course.
Would you hold any interest, say, if Jermaine was to beat him on Saturday night? Would you hold any interest in still facing facing Dillian?
If I would like to fight Dillian,
if Dillian loses on Saturday night, would you still be interested in the fight?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. It depends. You know, then he'll be coming off a loss with Fury, coming off a loss with Jermaine Franklin. So, would that fight really take me anywhere? Maybe, maybe not. It would all depend. Like, you know, I don't know. It wouldn't really be the same, I would say. But I felt like when I got the fight the first time, that was the perfect timing because WBC sanctioned it for an eliminator to fight Fury and everything, and I thought it was a good fight for me. And unfortunately, it didn't happen.
Otto, just also going to kind of loop back to the AJ fight. Speaking again to Dmitry earlier, he said the hope is that once Saturday is out of the way, that maybe within a week or so, there'll be some definitive answers as to who Anthony Joshua does face next, whether it be you or the winner from Saturday, or if somebody else comes out of the blue and takes that fight. Does that align with what you've been told and what you're expecting? Eddie said to me earlier around March, maybe the first week of April, they want Anthony Joshua back in the ring.
Yeah, that's really what I've been told too. We're kind of waiting, I guess, for this fight to happen and then see what they choose.
And then just on Saturday's fight, Whyte-Franklin, what are your thoughts?
You know, I think it depends on what kind of shape Franklin comes in. If he's in good shape, I know that he's a pretty good fighter. I watched him live a couple of times when we fought on the same shows. So I think that Jermaine has talent. It's just what kind of shape will he show up in, and what kind of shape would Dillian be in? I would assume that he's in pretty good shape, but you know, we know that he can get knocked out. So we see. I think it would be interesting. I'll probably have Dillian as the favorite to win the fight, but like I said, I think that Franklin has some talent. He just needs to show up in good shape and be ready to put the work in.
And one other fight in the heavyweight division, I just want to get your thoughts on, Otto, is Deontay Wilder and Andi Ruiz being called as a final eliminator of a WBC convention recently. A fight which has everybody excited. I'm sure you're tuning. Who do you think will come out on top?
Well, I think that could be good for as long as it lasts. Also, I just expect Wilder to eventually knock him out. I think that, you know, Ruiz, good fighter, but he takes a lot of breaks. You know, he takes rounds off and that. So he's there to be hit. So I think that with Wilder's power, it's just eventually just gonna hit him, I think. Right, but you know, if Andi would shut up in tremendous shape and could put it on Wilder and not have to take such long breaks all the time, then I think that he will have a really good chance to beat him. But it will be hard if he doesn't.
Other than yourself fighting Tyson again, Otto, if you had the choice of a potential Wilder-Ruiz winner, who do you think you would prefer to see back in with Tyson? A fourth bout with Deontay Wilder or the Andi Ruiz fight?
I mean, I can't really say that any of those guys will be really compelling to me personally. You know, he already beat Wilder 2 times, had 1 draw. and he's stopped him twice. So Wilder is always dangerous because of his power, of course, but I don't really want to see that again. Ruiz, I just think that he's too small for Fury, and Fury has a really good engine. He throws a lot of punches, and he's tall, he's rangy, and he's a good boxer. So I think that he will make pretty easy work of Ruiz, to be honest. So it's not that compelling, but I mean, if I had to pick one, I maybe pick Ruiz just because they haven't fought before.
Right, Otto, we will leave it there now, and I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your day and what is ahead for you. I'm sure we'll catch up again soon. Thank you for speaking to me in ID Boxing.
Okay, thank you very much, Andy.